It's from Annika, who is in her first year of college, and she says, "Hi, I chose my subjects based on what my parents thought I should do because they wanted me to go on to study medicine. I'm nearly a year in and I really hate my classes. My grades aren't great and I don't want to attend. What should I do?"
Okay, I'm sure both of us have had this many times, and it's really a very common issue. And it's normal to feel some pressure from people who love you because they want the best for you. The problem is, as Annika's shown, is that it's actually you that has to do the work. And if you're not keen on what you're doing now and you're not really keen on what it might lead to in the future, then it's inevitable you're not going to feel very motivated. So, we understand where you're coming from. I'd say the first thing to do is to speak to college, see what your options are. You might be able to swap to something else, or it's likely you'd have to redo that year with new subjects. But for any year 10s and 11s watching this, I'd say it's much easier to get your subject choices right the first time round. So really think carefully about what you're choosing and make sure that it's your decision, not anybody else's. This is from Sam, and they say, "I am in year 10 and the job ideas I'm thinking about all, I think, need me to go to university. Is there anything I can do now to help me decide what to do and where to go?"
Good question, Sam. So it's really good that you're thinking ahead. And the great news is that there's lots of things that you can do right now. First of all, follow universities that interest you on social media and try and visit campuses if you can for their open days. Universities have what's called widening participation departments as well, where they run programs to help young people access university. And these also include activities like workshops and clubs, and also summer schools as well.
And in Sussex, we've got quite a few specific programmes. For example, the Brighton and Sussex Medical School's BrightMed programme for students in years 9 to 13. So do make sure you ask at your school, as they're going to have links with local universities like Sussex, Brighton and Chichester. And they will likely come in and talk to you. You might be able to set you up with a mentor, for example. So lots of different things.
Yeah, brilliant.
So we had a direct message about this from a girl called Kezia, who said, "I'm in year 11 and really nervous about leaving school. I'm not great in new situations and feel scared about going somewhere new." What do you think about that, Mark?
Yeah, Kezia, you're not alone in feeling the way you feel. Remember back when you started secondary school and how you felt about that when you started that. So it can be daunting. But fear usually comes from thinking about unfamiliar situations. So the more familiar you can get with somewhere, the more comfortable you're going to feel with it. So what I would say is do things like make sure you go to open days and taster events, anything that's going to allow you to see what the environment is like. You can speak to some students who currently go to that place, speak to teachers as well. So the more you can get familiar with somewhere, the more comfortable you're going to feel. So I think that's really important. And, the video we'll play at the end will also give you some ideas from students about their experience of transitioning to college. Okay, so we've got one last question from Jake this time. Thanks for your question, Jake. And he says, "I've applied to do A-levels at college, but I'm really not sure I'm going to get the grades. I've got a lot going on and I'm currently in care, and this is really stressing me out."
Okay, so a couple of things. Firstly, it is normal to feel anxious about your next steps. And some students might have a lot of other things going on with their lives that are going to impact on that. Any student who is in care, please make sure you speak to your social worker, to your PA about your next steps, and also make sure the college you're thinking of going to is aware. On results days, we always recommend going into school because there'll be teachers and hopefully a careers advisor there to support you. And if your grades are lower than expected, first of all, call your college, as you might still be able to do what you intended to do. And if not, they might be able to offer you an alternative. The most important thing is whatever happens, there will be options and you won't be left behind. It might just take a little bit of a different route to get there.